Hey guys, today I wanted to make a video on really, I guess, severe anxiety symptoms lasting for a long time, kind of being stuck. Maybe you're in a position for years at a time. If you can, make sure you like and subscribe down at the bottom. Leave any comments about any future videos you'd like me to make. I'd really appreciate it. Now, I had a period of time probably for 2-3 years where it almost felt like I was on just a different planet. That's really what it felt like for me. It was like I didn't not an ounce of happiness. I just thought about killing myself 24/7. It was pretty much just like I had nothing to live for. I was never going to be happy again. I was just stuck. And I just couldn't get out of it. I've had very severe body sensations that have just lasted really long periods of time that I couldn't get around. And you know, for a lot of people it's really difficult, right? Like you're in a position where you don't really understand what's happening. So I'm going to kind of break down some of those things. So first thing is when you deal with a trauma or a hard experience, really long-term symptoms of anxiety, what can happen is one, you know, you can become depersonalized, so depersonalization. And another thing is obviously your fight or flight mechanism. Your amygdala is constantly basically triggering, essentially, where your fight or flight mechanism is going off nonstop and your adrenaline is going off all the time. Well, what happens when your adrenaline goes off all the time is eventually you get in a situation where you get adrenal fatigue, and you get tired, right? So that can cause depression because you're constantly just going nonstop and you're just exhausted. So all your energy is zapped, right? And then you can become severely depressed, right? Because it's going off nonstop. Now, very difficult thing to deal with, and I'm not, going to say that it's easy by any means, but the biggest thing that really helped me unravel with these things is really learning to live with it. There's going to be a lot of times where in your journey you're going to be dealing with these symptoms, and there's not really anything you can do about it, guys. You can worry about it, try to fix it, try to figure it out, try to understand it, but if you just wake up and you might be focused on it, right? You might be trying to understand it, but for the most part, if you just live your life and allow yourself to live with those feelings over time, what'll happen is you'll start to find moments where it's not there, right? The best way I can explain it, and I think I've talked about it in other videos, but so imagine you are chased by sorry, not chased. Here, I'll give you a better one. So you're an antelope. A lion chases you. Okay, you're in a field running. Yada yada yada. You get away from the lion, and you kind of have like a mini freak out, right? Because your adrenaline, almost like a panic attack, right? Well, you're an animal, so you just have your panic attack, and then you're done. You're done, right? But because we're human, we have this ability to think about our thinking, and so on and so forth forever in an endless magnitude, right? And that's what causes the issue, is believing that there's something wrong and trying to continually fix it and resist those feelings, thoughts, and emotions. Well, when you go through a stressful event, that's in some way that's your body releasing what just happened, right? So you need to feel all of that to allow your body to let it out, okay? So it's part of the healing process. So understanding that's a really big thing, right? The other thing is when you think about your thinking, and you try to constantly make your anxiety go away, what happens is you are just overworking your mind nonstop, and you just become exhausted. and you're just overworking your brain. And if you do that for long periods of time, you become depersonalized, almost like you're just not even there. It's like, who am I? Like, you don't even know who you are. You become completely unregistered with life, right? And the good thing about all of these symptoms is you can come back. Everyone can come back, you know, like once the anxiety goes away, your personality starts to really re-emerge, right? But you can't continually try to fix it. You have to just be uncomfortable, sometimes for really long periods of time, and learn to live with it, okay? Now, the other thing is you're gonna have setbacks that are gonna happen, and when those setbacks happen, what you have to be able to do is realize they're part of the process, and then also you have to be willing to fall into whatever hole is there, right? The more you try to make these feelings go away and thoughts and figure them out, the longer you're going to be stuck in those situations. Now, with OCD, it's a little tricky. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to leave this here forever and it's eventually going to go away, right? Because of a malfunctioning part of our brain. But you can use those thoughts to your advantage, right? So a lot of times, what I would say that I've seen or known for myself is, after a period of time when, you know, maybe the physical symptoms will go down, you're still having rumination, right? Well, your rumination is going to give you the key factors of what you need to use for rational emotive behavioral therapy. Okay, so How to Stubbornly Refuse to Make Yourself Miserable About Anything. If you haven't read that book, you want to make sure you read it, because it's going to give you the foundation to breaking down your beliefs, and you want to make sure you do them non-compulsively, okay? Now, the other side of it is there will be times where you have zero rumination, but you have constant body sensations and crazy anxiety. Well, it could be OCD, just switching it up, but also that might mean that there's not really anything to work on, okay? And you just need to feel all that stuff and release it, right? Like, your body is giving you this amazing opportunity and being like, hey, guess what? I'm letting you feel this stuff so we can get over this, right? So allowing yourself to feel those thoughts, emotions, body sensations is going to allow the healing process. And then you just have to remember that when your mind and body are going crazy like that, you got to stop trying to figure it out, to answer the questions, to understand it. You need to just learn to bring it for the ride. Bringing it for the ride is a key aspect to it, right? And another thing that I think will really help is if you are constantly having routines are good. I will say routines are good, like exercise, breakfast, good time to go to bed, and non-compulsively by any means. But if you're just doing the exact same freaking thing every day and just coming home and sitting on your butt, like, it's not helping. You need to go do fun things. You need to be outside. Nick loves hiking, for example. He absolutely loves it, and I think that helped his recovery a lot. For me, I like to find fun projects around the house. I like to find little things that I can do that keep me active, cleaning, as well as projects in the yard, maybe hanging up some cool lights. I have a lot of there's little fixes I need to do here or there. I like to go do karaoke, spend time with friends, maybe go to a nice restaurant. I like going on fun trips, to new places, visiting with friends and family, having good conversations, work, obviously, but you got to find ways to go and do things to break up the rigid, I guess, schedule. In my opinion, it's good to have a schedule. It's good to have a routine, but also you got to find things to break up. The best advice that I can give you long term with this, guys, is you're going to be uncomfortable mentally, physically, emotionally, and you got to just be really patient and realize that it's going to take time, and you got to be okay with whatever time that is. I had 2 years of just hating life, and then once I found how to work into it, probably about 18 months of just, so I had, you know, almost 4 years, right? I mean, only 18 months, but I knew what was going on. But then I had over a year where I just had almost zero anxiety, right? And new things are going to come up with OCD, new themes. Same principles are going to apply, and you just have, it's a learning process. And the really cool thing about the mind is once you gain this knowledge and you go down that path, there's going to be times where you're going to feel like you're at square one, but it's impossible. It's impossible because you're learning it. Sometimes it takes time to embed it into the system, right? To be understood, to be a place where you can be, you know, acceptance isn't like this, acceptance. It's a calming, it's a relaxation that over time, when these things happen, you have to be just willing to feel them and experience them and just realize they're a part of life and be compassionate with yourself and others and realize there will always be hard times in life. So anyways, guys, well, I hope you all have a great day, and that's all I got for you.